All right, I'm going to go to this place because, hey, Nebraska hasn't gone to a bowl game since 2016. They've not really contended in the division until a couple of years right in that range. They were contending in the division, haven't won the division championship since first year in the Big Ten, second year in the Big Ten. Second year in the Big Ten, yes, 2012.
Yep.
And
Wisconsin.
We're in contention those first 5 years or so. Wisconsin's got one loss. Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska all have 2 losses. They have the tiebreaker. Okay, Northwestern's out of the way. They play Wisconsin. They play Iowa. They would lose the tiebreaker to Minnesota. They don't quite have control their own destiny. Actually, Minnesota, I believe, controls Wisconsin controls the division because they've only lost one game, but they're playing Ohio State Saturday, so it's unlikely that they'll win. They could win, but it's unlikely.
Fans.
They haven't inspired a lot of confidence either. I mean, they got pretty fortunate to win.
Yeah.
Weekend. So, I mean, I do think they're the strongest team left on our schedule, though. And
it's in Madison. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
There's something
do you guys allow yourselves to dream at all here?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I looked at the rest of the schedule and I see every game as a winnable game, so I'm happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Because Wisconsin, especially this week, and actually just more recently, they've just shown a lot of kinks in their armor that we didn't necessarily think they would have at the beginning of the season. The way they were playing, Nebraska in that game would just need to really, because it seems like Wisconsin running backs go for like 250 on us every time we play them, and Braylon Allen ran all over us when he was 17, and we had to hear a whole game about 17. Yeah. So that's a good thing that our run defense has been more stout, but I definitely do think Iowa's offense is worse than ours, and so Maryland's I don't think anybody on our schedule the rest of the way is averaging over 30 points a game. I think Maryland, and then after that it's extremely low on the averages, and Maryland hasn't looked great the last couple of weeks either. So it just seems like the schedule each week, even though we're not necessarily happy with some of the things that are taking place on the field with the injuries and the turnovers and stuff, it's just each week that we come off of these, it seems like it adjusts. The rest of the remaining schedule gets a little bit easier, it seems like, almost every week. So hopefully we'll it's Purdue, we got to take care of business, of course, but then it's going to be that rough stretch towards the end. It's going to be a tough stretch just based on that they're stacked at the back end.
Well, it's also going to be a tough stretch. You guys may want to cover your ears. I'm just going to be honest here. They're still not a very good football team. So, this is still an enormous challenge. If being 2-2 and having 5 games left, they probably don't have to win all of them. They probably have to win 4 out of 5. And if they're going to lose, they should lose to Maryland or Michigan State. That's probably the formula right there.
Maryland scares me a little bit.
Yeah, Maryland's my biggest fear the rest of the way.
Really?
Yeah.
More so than Wisconsin and Iowa.
Just because I think the dynamicism of their offense, and I don't know if we can keep up.
Yeah, Nebraska came not getting the scoring duel.
If we do, we need to start forcing more turnovers on defense. Like, I love the way our defense has been playing, but we do need to start forcing some more turnovers too to help our offense out. But I think in that game especially, that's going to be one of those.
I mean, Nebraska specializes in those 17-9 games. So
yeah, yep.
Well, it's fascinating.
Everybody else left on the schedule, you can play them in the 17-9 game.
Yeah,
except for Maryland, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. If you told me that the Maryland game was going to be 17-9, I would be a bit surprised. Not that Nebraska is going to be able to bring them down as well. Bring them down in terms of their scoring, I would think. So I'd be surprised if you said it's going to be 14-10, but I would also be surprised if you said Maryland, Nebraska is going to be 40-37. I think the two styles of play will create some kind of balance, maybe in the low 20s or something in that range. But the rest of these games should be rock fights.
Yeah, and I always laugh, like every Saturday, media people give their score predictions of the game, and so many people are always saying, 34-21, or 35-17. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
When's Nebraska scoring that many points?
They're trying to speak it into existence. I respect it. Been there, but now a few weeks into this, and I've just kind of accepted it. It is what it is. Coming off of the bye week, this is what we got the rest of the way. That was kind of the indicator.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how they come out against Purdue, because Purdue's coming off of their bye week as well. So
yeah,
they're definitely going to bring something different. They've been watching Nebraska, and Ryan Walters, very defensive-minded coach,
mm-hmm.
Who was the defense coordinator for Brett Bielema at Illinois last year, and they're going to have some stuff ready to go for Nebraska.
Yep.
So, it's not a game that that looks a 4-3 team hosting a 2-4 team.
Mm-hmm.
Not really going to be like that. I don't think. I think it's going to be a tight game.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Tanner Lee of Boiler Breakdown Podcast is joining us right now to break down the Boilers, because I understand from the podcast name that's what they do there. So we're going to get some Purdue insight from Tanner Lee. Tanner, we appreciate you being here.
Hey, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. This is Justin right next to me. It's Greg right next to you.
Nice to meet you.
Why am I always on the bottom?
I think it's in order. I think it's in order when we enter the
I click the button and it throws it wherever it wants to. Justin knows more about the StreamYard even than I do. He could probably tell me how I could reshuffle it.
It's just in order, but you can just drag and move. You can just click my.
Where do you want to be, Greg?
I want to be.
Yeah, I got you, Greg.
Hey, look at that. Drag and drop. I've learned something. It's not like not every other computer application works like that I shouldn't have figured that out anyway. But
you do like 170 episodes a day. And still
all right.